Hello friends, Kurt Bergland with you. Every Monday morning I review a baseball book. Sometimes it's fiction, sometimes it's nonfiction. It could be an out-of-print book, it could be hot off the presses, or it could be somewhere in the middle. Today is part 2 of my review of The Baseball 100 by Joe Posnanski, a brand new publication as of October of 2021. In the first part of the review that I am doing, I talked about the basics of the book, publication, information, a little bit about the introductions to the book, the length of the book, and the basics. I'm going to be spending this second part of the review talking about the second 50 of the 100 that Joe Posnanski is writing about in this book. And then part 3 of my review, which will be next week, focuses on players 50 to number 1. So I've selected one of the players that Posnanski has chosen as one of the players between 51 and 100. It is number 90 in his list. This player is Max Scherzer. Now, I'm going to use this as a way to describe for you how the book is structured and what you can expect from the book and what you cannot expect from the book. My goal here is not to praise or condemn the book as much as it is to tell you what you can expect if you choose to buy it. It's not a cheap expenditure. It is about a $40 book at this time, and I think you need to know what you're getting. So the section on Scherzer, as I indicated, is number 90 in his list, and the section talks about maybe Scherzer's career game back in 2015 when he struck out 16 Milwaukee Brewers and allowed 1 hit. He talks about the game score for Scherzer in that game, and he talks about the rarefied air that put Scherzer in compared to other pitchers in big league history. He goes on in the Scherzer section to talk about Scherzer's effectiveness in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and then again in 19, relative to his contract status, and a little bit relative to his contemporary pitchers. Having said that, it is not a section on Scherzer that you would say, well, he's comparing Scherzer explicitly to the other pitchers in the top 100, or even expressly comparing Scherzer to other contemporaries in a concrete, data-driven way. He's not. There are quotes from Scherzer, there are testimonials about Scherzer in the section, but it is not a tightly reasoned section. And so when you read it, if you're saying, well, is he telling me how Scherzer compares to other pitchers all time? No, he's not. Is he telling me how Scherzer gets to be number 90 and not number 80 or number 70? No, he's not. So the criteria that Posnanski is using places Scherzer as, in Posnanski's words, clearly in the top 100, but it doesn't explain the ranking. There is not a rubric to do so. And so you could be left wondering, well, why not? Where is the justification for this? And I think that's expecting something from the book that the book is not going to deliver for you. If you're looking for a book that describes that kind of intricate analysis, this isn't it. But if you're looking for a book that says, here in some broad strokes are the credentials for this player to be in the top 100, and then here are some meaningful stories about that player and that player's performance that justifies him being in the top 100, then this is the book for you. So you have to identify what your expectations would be. It would be easy to look at the cover of this book and say, well, from this, we're going to get a tightly reasoned, well-argued ranking from 1 to 100. We're going to know why player X was number 1 and player Y was number 22. You're not. It's a different book than that. It's definitely a book that appreciates great players and the stories and the feats that make them great. And within a framework, it argues for those players being the elites of the game, but it will not, for you, split the hairs necessary to understand the specific rank order. That's not here. I want to talk a little bit and I will in next week's part of the review, about what gets a player into the top 100 and the criteria that he's using for each player, because they do vary a little bit. In other words, the things that impress him and make him put a player in the top 100 for player X could be different than what impresses him and gets that player in the top 100 for player Y. And that will fit in with my discussion next week about the very elite of the very elite. I hope you'll join me for that. Please click like and subscribe to my channel. The review, this is part 2, the Baseball 100, Joe Posnanski. It's available now. And part 3 coming up next Monday. Thanks for being with me. I'm Kurt Bergland. Have a wonderful day. So long, everybody.